Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
He's at the 20.
They should stop this one.
What you got? Domination! Snot bubbles!
He throws. Complete. Touchdown. They've got him again. They've got him again. Sack Crumpler. What a throw. What a hit. What a catch.
Defense is just way too much for the count.
It's caught by Alshon Jeffrey for a touchdown. He pushes. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts. Touchdown. A.J. Brown. A run. He's going to score.
It's a touchdown by Nick Foles. The train is in the end zone.
Touchdown.
Torrey Smith
In for the touchdown is Jeffrey. In. Touchdown. Jalen Hurts.
So the Birds had their final day of training camp, and it was a lighter practice. But man, there's still so much curiosity going into this season, especially after Eagles GM Howie Roseman traded tight end Harrison Bryant and a fifth for wide receiver John Mechie and a sixth from the Houston Texans, which left everyone shook. And I thought maybe Howie Roseman's next move would have been a cornerback along with everyone else. But afterwards, I did do some thinking, and the trade for a cornerback, Jacorian Bennett, I didn't think Howie would go and get another cornerback. After that trade, I thought maybe he said, here's your cornerback, figure it out. And now I'm very concerned about the cornerback position overall. Listen, I won't question Howie, but I'm just concerned about the cornerback position. It's been a concern since the beginning of camp, but you can't go wrong with Mechie, who was with Smitty in Alabama when he was winning Heisman's and championships. Mechie had a tough start to the NFL, dealing with leukemia, and even afterwards not really playing up to par. But the Texans had an injury at the tight end position in which they came calling Howie, who's a GM that's always lurking. They had recent history trading with Howie, with C.J. Gardner, and even getting that pick back for what they traded with Gardner when the Birds acquired Kenyon Green. Mechie was a dog in Alabama, and we reportedly had our eyes on him in 23, but that was to no avail. And many have speculated that there may be more to the story with A.J. Brown's hamstring. I mean, A.J. Brown is out right now with the injury in which he hasn't practiced now in like 18 to 20 days. But he's been on the field throwing passes to wide receivers, which I think is just hilarious. I just think since Landon Dickerson's injury, the Birds starters and guys under contract have been bubble wrapped by the coaching staff. I mean, there was no one practicing all week this week after the open practice in this week's camp, including the wide receivers and O-linemen. So I think Brown is not being on the field is just a case of the Birds just playing it safe. But back to the cornerback position, I really thought Bennett had a good day in week 2's preseason game against the Browns, but he did go down with a slight injury and go into the medical tent earlier in this week's practice. I'm not overly concerned about that, but this season, the outcome and overall performance as to if he's going to turn out to be a good cornerback in Fangio's system this season. And I'm not ringing any alarm bells here, but I do think that's a position that Howie should have looked at and been just a bit more cautious with exactly who he wanted. Not saying Jacorian Bennett isn't the guy, but we're going to be facing off against a bevy of good to great receivers, so Bennett is going to have to really lock in. And we did get some news out of training camp today, even though it was short news. We got some, especially on offense today, which was Darius Cooper Day. And he's been making some huge strides in his offense. Darius Cooper made a leaping one-handed catch in drills today. Also caught a catch from Hurts in traffic over the middle. And what ESP reported was a strong-handed catch, and that he's definitely making the team. According to Brandon Lee Gowton, Hurts smiled and dapped up Cooper after the exchange. That was super dope to hear. And then he beat Adoree Jackson on a quick touchdown pass in what was an out route. And Cooper is definitely a diamond in the rough. I've seen some fans on X saying that since teams need wide receivers, Howie's going to trade Cooper for a cornerback too. And I can't see why Howie would do such a thing. I mean, he's already having a better training camp behind Smitty and A.J. Brown, in an even better camp than Dotson, so reported by Brandon Lee Gowton. And if Cooper is lighting it up in practice in first teams, that obviously means that Hurts is once again seeing it. And all of the Hurts comments on social media saying that Hurts is looking bad in practice and we should all be worried about the interceptions. You got to just shut up, please. Because as I've said before, this is when you want to see the interceptions and bad plays. The players making mistakes rather in practice than in the game. Of course, you're going to have your players that evolve and rise in camp. You're going to get that. But you're also going to get your interceptions, bad plays here and there they're obviously doing installments. They're installing things, so they're cleaning it up. We don't know exactly what they're doing in camp, so you got to just calm down and relax until the regular season officially begins. And Hurts threw multiple touchdowns, the ones I just told you about, the Darius Cooper, and even some to Grant Calcaterra and one to Anaya Smith. Adoree Jackson got reps with the first team at cornerback, winning that battle against Kelee Ringo, who's now practicing with the second and third team. Sidney Brown got reps with the first team in 11 on 11s, and Cooper DeJean got reps at outside cornerback in base defense, which is his third consecutive day on the outside. So Cooper would definitely be moving around this season. Not surprised there. Really surprised about Jahan Campbell, not as much, but he got first team reps alongside Zach Bond. That's a duo that I was really speaking towards being surprised to as far as seeing that. Zach Bond returned Monday off his injury, and I think this is the duo we've all been so overly anxious to see. He had a sack today in 11 on 11, so look out for Jahan Campbell and the Zach Bond duo alongside Trotter. And not to be outdone, speaking of, he got an interception on McCord today in practice, which was caused by Moro Ojomo, who got pressure in the backfield, causing the pick, and it was on Kenyon Green. That Moro Ojomo pressure he got past, that the one that he created pressure on, that was the pick that ended camp today. And Ojomo and Trot has had an excellent camp this offseason. And I mean, it's been even inking into the preseason games. We can only hope that it inks into the offseason. I literally sound like a broken record when it comes to Jeremiah Trotter and Moro Ojomo making plays in camp. They've had an excellent camp. So with that, training camp 2025 is officially over, and the Birds now look to the 53-man roster, and cuts will be announced very soon. And I do have what's sort of a 53-man roster prediction. Really, it's who I think are definitely already have earned their starting positions. Some of the ones I would like to share with you, and we'll start with the secondary. With cornerbacks, Jacorian Bennett, Adoree Jackson, Quinyon Mitchell, Mac McWilliams, even though he's a rookie, I think he's going to get some time in the slot, and Cooper DeJean. Then at safety, we have Sidney Brown, Andrew Mukuba, and Reed Blankenship. No one to be debated there. So we go to linebacker with Zach Bond, Trotter, Smile Munden, and Jahan Campbell, with Nakobe Dean still on the PUP list, who will still be battling for his spot back on the depth chart. Now, defensive tackles and edge rushers I put together. So we have Moro Ojomo, Jordan Davis, Josh Uche, Azeez Ojulari, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jalix Hunt, and could Ty Robinson make his way on this roster? Maybe, we'll see. The Vanilla Gorilla has a lot of striving to do, but he did pretty good in the preseason, got him a sack, so we'll see there. And on the offense, I have the quarterbacks, who's obviously Hurts, Tanner McKee, and Kyle McCord. And seeing as though the Birds will have more control over McCord's contract, I'm going to go with McCord. Heck, he played better than DTR in the preseason game, so I think Robinson is the odd man out. Then for running backs, we have Saquon Barkley, Will Shipley, and A.J. Dillon. Wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Smitty, Dotson, Cooper, Wilson, and Menchie III. Tight ends, we have Dallas Goedert, Grant Calcaterra, and I still don't know who after this Granson trade, which was mind-blowing. So we go to the offensive linemen, and Jordan Mailata, of course, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Tyler Steen, Kenyon Green, and Kendall could be installed as a swing tackle, who knows? So we'll look at that, and also Lamb. On special teams, we got kicker Jake Elliott, Brandon Mann, and Charlie Hewlett. Now, even though I said Adoree Jackson should be cut in prior videos, some things are really shaking up in the cornerback room, like Kelee Ringo, who has now been downgraded to the second and third team. He hasn't been practicing in the last days of camp with the first team, so I really don't know where I'm at or where the Birds are at with Ringo, so I don't know that. And he hasn't been having the best camp this year, and even worse in preseason games, so it'll be interesting to see what the Birds do with Ringo and Adoree. And also, I said Eli Ricks could potentially make the roster in prior videos. I think Ricks may be the odd man out, not having the best camp in the last days to finish practice. But hey, he could still make some plays in the last preseason game against the Jets. That is a pick that Howie likes. He does get the last 3 picks. And that's sort of my 53-man roster. Really, it's who I think are going to make the team. I have about 43 to 45 there. So Sirianni, Fangio, and Patullo can figure out the rest. But you let me know, have I lost my mind? Am I crazy? Do you like it? down below. Now, we've finally gotten through the entire offseason, the preseason, the 14 days now until we finally face the Cry Girls, drop our banner, then drop 40 with the season opening win guaranteed. So, you know the routine, man. Thanks for watching. We've been through this entire preseason, and I can't wait until we ink into the regular season. This whole thing, everything that we're doing over here, going to be a big blast, going to be huge, and I want to go through this journey with you together. So be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching again, and be blessed, and go Birds.